Did you enjoy Toni Storm's moment in the spotlight? More like searchlight. At this point, somebody ought to be looking for her that's escaped from a home. It's Toni Storm doing her promos, yet there is a talent to this, and it's funny, but it's like a Shakespearean reading of a dirty limerick. And it just, the whore you all adore, the skank you want to spank. I think the people, they like to listen and laugh at it. Does it sell tickets? Is it so preposterous that you just want to see her come out and talk? Is there any reason to have matches? Does this help the matches? All these questions I'm asking.
You know, I'm not a fan of the gimmick on wrestling, but she's very talented. The fans there love her. She is the biggest female star in AEW. In a way, I kind of thought this worked just because if they're going to be in a world where she does all this stuff and it's in black and white, all that shit, these other two girls coming out to interrupt in the middle of it is kind of the only way to do it, I guess.
Well, but again, the spotlight is on her, and suddenly Jamie Hayter appears in the spotlight, dressed like Ronald McDonald's sister. And she recites lines to Toni. And then Chris Statlander appears in the spotlight on the other side, and she recites some lines to them. And then Toni says, well, trim your bushes, bitches, we're going all out. And then Theckla's music plays, and she comes running out with referees and basically chases all the other three off. And because it was time for Theckla's match, and they were done, so it looked like Theckla chased Toni Storm, Statlander, and Jamie Hayter off. But nevertheless, that's what I'm saying is Toni Storm, the fans that like AEW, they like silly, funny wrestling. They don't want to take shit seriously. They can see through all this anyway, and they don't care. So would it be easier just to have her come out and do the interviews? Do we have to have the matches? Do the matches matter? They just want to laugh at her promos, don't they?
They want to play along. They want to play along with the world that she lives in. You know, kind of like a Orange Cassidy or a Grizzly Redwood or, you know, any other thing that indie fans find cute and they get into, and then people who aren't indie fans see it and go, what is this? Explain this to me. Now, Toni Storm may be the best of them all, but it is what it is.
Well, we're on the downhill slide now, folks. Don't worry. Next up was the no-holds-barred match with Theckla versus Queen Wayayata, who came out carrying a garbage can, which was very symbolic for this television program. Almost 10 o'clock, and that's what we need, a girls' garbage match. And, of course, they started on the floor, and they pulled out the chairs, and I skipped ahead to when it was over. And Theckla, to the surprise of no one, won the match. But then she got on the microphone and was screaming at Toni Storm. And Toni Storm hit the ring and double-legged her and got on top of her. And Toni Storm punched her own left hand with her own right hand over and over. It's like they don't even pretend. They don't think that there's a television camera there. They think, well, the people in the cheap seats won't be able to tell. The fucking camera there. Then here came Jamie Hayter and Statlander, and they fought, and Julia Hart came out, and Blue Sky, and Wheeler Yuta and Marina Schaefer came out and did nothing and then turned around and left. I was just wondering if they thought that it was their brawl when it was scheduled to be the next brawl. That was just completely useless. And then Statlander walked out, and Theckla and the two heels with her beat up Toni Storm, but Storm made her own comeback, and the heels bailed out, but Jamie Hayter came from behind Toni Storm and drew back and was going to punch her, but Toni Storm saw her. So she stopped and they yelled and cussed at each other. What a fucking mess.
That AEW women's division.
I have to loosen my headphones just a bit. My head hurts.